Hello, everyone. Welcome to another lesson inspired by the Come Follow Me manual created by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The title for the lesson I have today is called We Have Power Over Ourselves. But the title of the lesson in the book is called That Evil May Be Done Away. All right, so here's the thing that we need to get established right away. Evil only has the power that we give it through our evil thoughts, words, and choices. You understand that? We give evil the power over our lives. We give evil the power to manipulate us. We give evil the ability to reign over us. We have power over who we are and over who we become. We can't control our circumstances, but we can control what we make of them. And just because our circumstances may be bad doesn't mean we have to be bad ourselves. We can still be good people despite having crappy circumstances, and we need to be mindful of that. We can't use our circumstances as an excuse to do whatever we want. And a lot of people do, and it's not right. We need to be aware of both the good and bad parts of life, our lives, other lives, history in general, so that we can appreciate and cherish the good and work to avoid repeating the bad. We need to know about the bad parts, even if we don't think we need to know about the bad parts, so that we can avoid repeating them. We need to be aware that bad things are out there, bad people are out there, bad history is out there, and we should not strive to be one of those bad things that are out there. Even if our life sucks, which life definitely sucks right now, but it's not always going to be that way. Even if our life sucks, we don't have to suck along with it. We don't have to be broken along with life. We can be better than our lives, and we should be better than our lives. Life is short, and we shouldn't waste it giving evil the power to reign over us and our good natures. We can and should strive to be better. Because you know what? There's so much good in life, so much to discover, so much mystery, so much happiness we can have. Why do we want to waste our lives and the time that we have, the very short amount of time that we have, doing bad things and giving evil power over us and just giving into things that will only make us miserable in the end? Why do we want to waste the short time that we have doing nothing but evil? Why? We don't. We should not and cannot seek a life full of agony and sorrow, because that's all that is waiting for us if we just lead a life of evil. I mean, life is full of mysteries, and if we truly desire to know about those mysteries and are willing to put in the work, we can become enlightened to those mysteries. And how are we to become enlightened if all we are focused on is evil? If we just have a one-track mind, and if we're focused on evil and giving evil power, we're not going to be able to open our minds and hearts to the mysteries that God has out there for us to explore, and we won't be able to open our minds and our hearts to the Spirit, and the Spirit won't be able to teach us what the mysteries of God are. We limit ourselves and our potential and our capacities greatly by giving evil power in our lives, because the Spirit cannot dwell where evil is. So we are only hurting ourselves if we give evil power in our lives. And you know, a result of giving evil power in our lives is the great amount of sorrow that we feel. And sorrow is a product of our unwillingness to change. And you know what? We may be scared to change. We may not feel that we are good enough to change. We may feel as if we are worthless and that we don't have the right to become better, but that's a load of crap. We have every right to become better because we are children of God, and it's in our royal lineage to become better. We have power over who we are. We have power over ourselves. We have power over whether or not we change, whether or not we become better, And we have every right to become better if we want to be. Life is so very short that we should not and cannot give that power away just because we don't think we are good enough to become better. And you know what? We are not a product of our environment. We are a product of our choices. Our environment exists. We come from it, but we don't have to become what's there. We can learn from our environment. We can take lessons from our environment, and we survive our environments. But we are not stuck becoming what we've endured. We can rise above it and become better because of the atonement of Jesus Christ. We should not and don't have to let our circumstances define who we are or who we become. We have the power to control how we respond to circumstances beyond our control, and we should take that power and embrace it. And you know what? We all have the power to find our promised land. No matter who we are and where we are, the Lord will help us. All we have to do is reach out to Him. Even though our circumstances may be bad, we can still have our promised land, even if it's only in our attitude. Zion can be in our hearts. And the Lord will guide us towards what is best for us when it is best for us. And you know, there are certain things and certain people that we may think are best for us. But if they prove to be a vice, if they prove to be harmful, even if they were once good for us, even if the Spirit said that they were once good for us, they may eventually prove to be harmful, so the Lord will guide us away from them into something better. The Lord will never leave us alone or comfortless, as long as we are willing to listen. As the Lord guides us to what opportunities are best for us and when they are best for us, He may also encourage us to walk away from things or people that are not good for us, or when they threaten to damage or destroy our inherently good or kind nature. Life is so very short. The Lord doesn't want us in pain. He doesn't want to see us destroyed. He doesn't want to see us hurt. Those things that might have been good for us and wholesome for us at one time may no longer be good for us. You know, the Spirit works in funny ways. Promptings may come, but people make choices. And the Lord knows what choices people make and what people say. He hears all things. He knows all things. And so He may go ahead and say, hey, this was once a good idea, but these people made some choices and said some things, so I'm going to take you and send you in another direction that will be better for you because these people chose to behave this way and I don't want you getting hurt. And you know what? We can choose whether or not to listen. We don't have to let the choices of others define our happiness. We don't have to let the circumstances we are in define our happiness. Life is so very short. We have the right to find joy. Even if others don't believe, we have the right to find joy. And even if people treat us as if we don't have the right to find joy or to feel joy, we do. We can and should find joy under any circumstance, and nobody can take that away from us. And you know what? There will be people out there who will actively strive to take our joy away simply because they don't understand us or simply because they are unhappy with their lives, so they'll try to take it out on us. And you know what? We shouldn't hate these types of people because they are unhappy with themselves and they are already in a prison of misery. So we don't need to put them in a prison of misery either. We need to have compassion upon these types of people because they are already suffering in ignorance. And Christ wants us to have compassion upon the ignorance because even though we don't have power over how people treat us, we have power over how we respond to how people treat us. And not everyone will find favor in our attempts to be good and kind. But you know what? That's their choice. We should have compassion upon the ignorant, and we should forgive them and love them. Even Christ, as he was dying upon that cross, said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And we should be good and kind and have compassion upon such people, because maybe they don't know how to respond to goodness and kindness. And maybe in our attempts to be good and kind, even when they aren't kind to us, maybe we shall plant a seed and teach them a better way. And that's all we can do, is respond with kindness and leave them to their ignorance. And wonder if they'll ever change, because all we can do is change ourselves. We can't change how people feel about it. We only have power over ourselves. And all we can do is love ourselves and respond kindly to others who don't love us. And the Lord will guide us on our paths. And we can show humility by being open-minded and willing to listen when he sends admonitions or helps of improvement along our way, because we're all in need of improvement all the time. And we shouldn't be afraid to admit it to ourselves. Because, life's very short. And it can sometimes be very painful, but we can still find joy among the pain. And, the sad part is, the very sad part is, there will always be people out there who want to cause hurt. And you know what? Even though people will always want to hurt us, we don't have to become one of those who cause hurt just because others want to hurt us. We don't have to become those who hurt just because people hurt us. We don't have to become what happens to us. This is what I mean by we are in control of ourselves. We don't have to let what happens to us define us. We have power over ourselves. We need to be aware of when people hurt us, so we don't let ourselves become what is forced upon us. Life is so very short. We have power over who we are and who we become. We may not have power over the circumstances that are forced upon us, but we have control of who we are despite our circumstances. And if we need help or courage to keep going despite our circumstances and despite how others treat us, we can find that comfort and strength and courage in Jesus Christ. And in those who we know love us, because God will put people in our path to help us get through those trying times, if we but ask. And you know what? In these trying times, and there's trying times all the time now, we can find support and help in one another and in the Lord, and this we should do. And this I testify to be true. We are all good enough for the help and support of the Lord, and he will guide us. For we are never alone. And with that said, I love you all so very much. And I say these things humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.